You couldn't ask for a better place to live.
In the quiet town of Morehead, when big things happen,
that Bill Clinton was coming to town, I didn't believe him. I said, what?
And I think Kentucky can make her.
They don't go unnoticed.
It's not Mayberry, but it's not Detroit.
So it's no surprise what went down in this field on November 21st, 2003 quickly became the talk of the town.
And there's a big giant field back behind my house, and I could swear I heard somebody screaming back there.
The screams described as blood-curdling.
They were all looking out the window, and they saw a UFO come down in that field, or something that looked like a UFO. It was a bright light.
That's right, she said UFO. Witnesses calling it an oval, white-colored light source moving silently through the night sky.
But I think that we had some credible witnesses.
Donnie Blessing is a former UFO investigator, quickly taking interest in this case after learning of those witnesses, a college professor, and the guy heard here.
And it sounds like a female struggling?
I swear it sounded that my dog started barking. I walked outside. I got my spotlight out, and I couldn't see anybody in the field.
Several in the area convinced the screaming woman had been abducted by aliens.
I'm like, yeah, right, nothing more yet.
But clearly not everyone is buying that story.
I think that there's some explanation for what was seen and what was heard. I just don't really have it.
While Morehead Police Chief Mike Adams says officers were called to the field that night to investigate,
sounded like a female, maybe in distress.
No woman was ever found, and Chief Adams thinks that's because the screams weren't those of a human.
I've answered calls like that myself before. Thought there was a child screaming in the woods and it'd be some kind of animal.
The person who lived down at the foot of the hill had lived there his whole life. And he told me that he knew the difference between a screaming woman and a screaming mountain lion. As for the flashing lights thought to be that of an alien aircraft, Chief Adams just isn't convinced.
I haven't heard anybody say that, hey, back in 2003, do you remember I was abducted? I just now remembered it.
Most importantly, police say that night there were no reports of a missing woman. But Blessing believes that's because the possible abductee was only gone for a short time, returning home safely, and probably didn't even realize what happened. And over the years, as this story continues to pass through this small town, it leaves people wondering, was a woman really abducted by aliens? And if so, could it happen again?
Just hope it don't happen while I'm here.